Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I am Sanyukta Saxena and this is the Zentangle Inspired Art Special Series, and we are already down 8 sessions. Today is the 9th session wherein we will be trying something new again. At least try to do something different, something new, right? Try different variations of tangles, try different arrangements. But till now we have been mostly sticking to the round format, right? And creating different types of designs and pieces, right? Let's get started. I have a circle about in the center of the paper that I have. This is the center of the circle, and I'm just going to start drawing lines like we do for wells, right? So I'm using my O1 here and started to draw lines the way we do for the tangle wells, right? Probably one more here, right? So after doing this, now I am, instead of coming back and creating a leaf or a petal shape, I'm just going to add a curve like this, a slight C shape, right? Like this, right? And then I'm going to take a cue from this outline of the circle that we have drawn and just join these ends to form a petal kind of a shape or rice shape, like this. Yeah, and now let us add some aura inside each of these shapes, just mimicking the shape formed inside. Simple auras, nothing else, right? Again doing the same exercise, auras, again, right? So take your time, slowly aura each of these rice shapes or seed shapes as we generally call in Zentangle. Right? And the last one. Right? Now we have these sections that we have created. A good idea will be adding another aura here. It's a triangular kind of a section. We can just put in a simple fragment there. Yeah, so I'm just adding one more aura so that that section is separated and I can go with the fragment there. Right? So now think of a suitable fragment that you would like to insert there. We have a lot of auras here, right? So probably you would like to go with a simpler or something that does not involve much of auras inside. Anything, right? So let's add a little boldness there. Something like this. Something like this. Dividing the triangle into 3. Right? And now I'm just going to ink one of the sections, so it is up to you which section you want to ink. Just pick up one. You can change your nibs if you want. I don't feel the need to. Right, so I'm just going to ink one of the sections, and the rest can be tackled by shading. Right. So we are done with that. Rest we can handle with shading, right? If you want, you can add a little weight at these turnings. We can come back to it later also, or you can do it right here before we proceed further. Yeah, a little weight. So done with that exercise. Now I have drawn some petal kind of shapes here. Nice tomb or petal shapes. And we shall tangle inside them. Right, so you can either draw a little with your pencil for just for reference, or you can straight do it with your pen, whichever way you are comfortable. Right, not concerned too much about symmetry here, just drawing freehand. So now we have these shapes, up to us how do we want to proceed, right? So let's see. Probably I'm going to add this shape. I really like this shape. I think I've used quite a few times in this project itself. And that's why gorgeous is one of my favorites, right? Because it uses this shape. Just adding a little weight to the head, the print tom head. Give a nice curl, add some weight there. Give a nice curl, add some weight there. Yeah. So again we have some space here, adding another layer of aura inside and adding a nice big orb, filling in the rest. Right, so now we are just building on the design, not thinking much where what, going as per the spaces we have. And what shapes and what tangles will look good there. Yeah. Take your time and slowly insert this fragment. We have used this before also during this series. So there are a whole lot of fragments. You can also ensure fill in an emingle there, an emingle in a triangle. You can again draw a welts there. So many things that you can insert, right? Now these sections, again, it is entirely up to us what do we want to do. So let's draw a flower. So what I'm going to do is start with the moon, add two auras, and then start with these petal shapes. Yeah, take your time. Fill in these small little intersectices at the same time. Right? So I'm still continuing with the same exercise of adding some petals inside my gorgeous shape. Right? Just going with the shape, maneuvering my petals the way they should be inside the shape, not thinking much how, what, just using the spaces that I have. Right? So start with the moon, add 2 auras, and then add those petal shapes. You can also start from the center in case you are too particular and you want equal number of petals on both sides. You can start from the center. Yeah, but I am not that particular, so right. So what you can also do is start from here and then go both ways. Yeah. So this was 4 petals. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Right. So you can do that also if you want absolute symmetry. Right. So we are done with that exercise. Now let us add an aura and then we can build more. Right. So I'm just going to add a close aura. So we have these nice in between dips which we can use comfortably. Yeah, but we need to aura the design first. Make sure you ink it properly. Take your time. Add another aura. Right? So we are done with that. Small little thing that you can do here is add a diamond if there is sufficient space there. Right? So now we have these beautiful dips. Now let us see what can we add there. So you can either go with moon pie or you can go with some other tangle like umbel. You can also go with nice, and you can also add ficops or the whole lot of tangles, right? So let's see, what do we want to add. I'm going to add a tangle called jockey. Yeah, so it starts with a printum like this, a sitting printum, and then there are these auras over it, starting almost from the same point. Right? So you can draw it in different ways, but the basic, this is how you can maneuver the shape by changing the way you draw these auras or heads over it. Yeah, this is a tangle called jockey. Right, and another one here. Right, so once we are done with that, we can now again add a dome shape over it, a petal shape. I'm just building on the design, not thinking where, what. So just enjoy the process, right? You can also add some bit of coffering there, giving a little more importance to my jockey, adding another aura inside. Take your time, adding a coffered kind of a look, adding another aura inside. Right, so done with that. Now let us fill small little orbs here. Fill in the inside small spaces with little tipple, small ones. You can add lines, you can add any other tangle you feel like. I like it this way, right? So I'm going to do that throughout. So on the last section now, doing the same exercise. Adding small little tipples and filling in the background space behind my jockey. Right, now up to us again, what do we want to do with the rest of the space? So I'm just going to add some square, something different. Like this, right? Just take your time and add these rectangular shape. On the four sides. Right, and the last. Right, so we have done that. Now the next step is to aura inside, and then you have this nice shape inside, space inside that you can comfortably fill in with the filling that we learned last time, just auraing the fescues, remember? So that filling comes pretty handy inside a coffered look. Take your time, slowly aura each of the fescues, slowly. Patiently go to each of them. Small little spaces you can comfortably ink. You can add one more layer if you want. A beautiful filling using fescue. I use it very often. Small little places you can fill it in. Looks nice. Right, so I'm now going to add some orbs. So feel free to add something else inside, line based, printums, completely orbs. There's so many other tangles you can choose from. Choose something you like, right? So this is how it looks like. Right, so we'll see if we want to do something on the outside also, or we want to leave it like that. Yeah, so I am on the last one now. Did the same exercise for the all rectangular sections. Added nice fescues and auraed them, and this is how they are looking like. Looks very ornamental, a very simple filling, but looks very nice, very ornamental, especially if you add some colors like gold and all to them. Inside the orbs, it looks highly decked up. Just that you have to slowly aura each. Take that time. Right, so I'm going to add one more. You can also ink some small sections if you want. Looks nice. Right, so I'm just going to add one more aura here and fill up the rest of the space with orbs. Big, small, not necessarily of the same size. Right, so we are done with that. Now we can either close this here and start to shade, or you can add something here also connecting them. Right, so we shall see if we want to do that. Currently let us move on to shading. Right, so what I'm going to do is start with the center. So I'm just going to add some shade here. Yeah, so we forgot to fill this one. And then I'm going to add some shade over this highlight. You can also highlight one side, right? So one side you can make it dark, and the other side you can highlight, even that is possible. So let's see how do we want to do it. So I'm just going to nicely blend. Right, and then just a little on these. Right. So once we are done with that, then moving on to the flowers, just add some graphite here. The tangles themselves tell you where to shade, how to shade. You don't really have to think much. The spaces in which they have been used, the lines themselves talk how do they want to be shaded. So once you are in practice, you really don't have to think about how to shade what. They will themselves tell you, right? So either you can shade on this half moon, or you can shade the ends of the petal, or you can do both, right? So spaces are small. It is a possibility that the entire space goes gray, so I am just sticking to one side. You can either, otherwise you can also shade at the ends, right? So entirely up to you. Jockey, just where lines are emerging, I will go with that only. Simple tangle to draw as if your printums, the layers are unfolding, right? So how you want to interpret, what do you want to relate it to, helps you retain how to draw the tangles. Yeah. Just adding on the inside. Again, spaces are small, don't blend too much, just a bit. You don't want everything gray, just blur the graphite. Make sure you have some white portions. Yeah, so I'll quickly do that. So I'm on the last one now. Adding graphite around my fescues, the filling, not too much. Yeah, and a little touch here on the inside. Right, now going to our coffered look. That is generally the way we shade. Right, so just leave a highlight in the center and pull the graphite from the line, the corner towards the center. Right, so it looks really nice. Yeah, again doing the same for this part also. Place from lines are emerging. Right. right? So I'll do that throughout. You can keep it a little darker at the beginning and a little lighter as you pull it. Take your time and slowly do that exercise for all. Remember to leave the highlight. Right, so I'll quickly do that. So I'm just blending the last one here. Yeah, so we are done with our shading. Now let us add some touches of white chalk. Not much, few places, a little bit wherever it is visible. Right, so little bit here where you have not added graphite. That's why the white and the gray should be discreet, right? Otherwise your chalk would not look nice. I think that's enough, right? So we don't need to do anything else. If you want, you can go on embellish more. These places that you have, you can add something else, something like bronze chairs, bunches of bronze chair, or you can add some fescues, you can add anything, you know. So whole lot of things that you can do. So I'm going to stop here. Probably I'm just going to place a caviar at each of these corners like this. Yeah, sitting there quietly. A nice way to embellish. Looks just like the exotic eggs, the caviar fish. Right, so just take your time. That small effort, make them sit at the turnings, and they will definitely add more value, more beauty. That's about it, right? So let us close it here. Right, so I shall see you again with one last session on Zentangle Inspired Art. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.